Hello everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Sofia. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're enjoying spring. Though I know in most of Europe it's like raining or snowing in the middle of April, which what is happening in the world, but it's really sunny here, as you can see today. And I just wanted to film a chill video because I'm normally really organized when it comes to my month planning, but this month I've been lagging behind. I just thought that it would be nice to show you how I plan my TBR, how I choose my reads, how I organize my reading for the month. But first, I want to show you the books that I'm currently reading because it's already April. Like, I started my April reads already. The first book I wanted to pick up is We Had the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. I haven't really been in the mood for fantasy lately, but I'm in the mood for good enemies to lovers, and we all know that fantasy, it's that one genre that does enemies to lovers so good, and this book just gives knife in the throat, I want to kiss you vibes, and that's all I want to read right now. I'm just really excited to be back into fantasy. I just want to get into that mood again. The other book that I'm reading, it's called Severance by Lingmei. This is a science fiction book, I think, but it's basically set in this post-apocalyptic world. I think it's a science fiction. One of the main reasons why I got it was the cover, and then I saw what it is about, and I was like, sold. It is set in this post-apocalyptic world where this flu has spread over the world. This sounds really familiar, but it was published in 2018. We follow this girl, Candace, and she used to work in this office, but now she's in the middle of the world's end, and she has to learn how to survive with this other group of people. I'm reading so fast, and I think it's because I love survival stories, but it also jumps from the end of the world to like when she worked at an office, and she's at a point in her life where I can really relate. She's like looking for her new job. She doesn't really know what to do. Her first corporate job just started, and as someone that is like doing the exact same thing she's doing, I feel really connected to her. And what I normally do for planning in a month, main thing is my reading journal. I have to pick my TBR. That's like the first thing I have to do. Let's pick our TBR. It's so sunny, the bookshelves look so good. These are my TBR shelves, this one and this one. These are hardcovers. I don't know why these are like that. And those are paperbacks, so let's see what I'm in the mood for. And that's the biggest problem with picking a TBR. I found more books. Probably more books on my TBR, yeah. All my romances. The problem with picking my TBRs is that I'm a mood reader, and let me know if you're a mood reader too, because we are the weirdest creatures in this world. Like, I could want to read like a million fantasies, but then the next day I want to read a romance, and it's like, finish what you started, Sofia, and then you can start another book. Right now I'm in the mood for everything. Like, I literally could read anything, romance, fiction, autobiographies even. I already have a fantasy, and I already have like a sci-fi. I also got a lot of books recently, so I have like a lot to choose from. I think this is good. I can choose from these ones. Let's go through this pile. The first one I'm seeing in here is Thrive, which is a romance, and it's the fourth book in the Addicted series, I think. If you saw my 24-hour reading blog, I read 2 of these books in like one sitting nearly. I'm really sad that I'm gonna finish it soon. I think I have 4 books left. Then I want a short book, so I have a few options, 5 options. The first 2 are classics, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter. These are 2 books that I really want to read, but something about a classic just scares me. I'm a YA kind of gal that is trying new things. This is too much for me right now, and I want light reading, funny reading, something that engages me, and this is not it. Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which it's basically about this Japanese coffee shop where you can go back in time. I've heard really good things, and it does sound like something I will enjoy reading. It's also quite short. I think it's 200 pages, so it will be easy to read. Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist. Always wanted to read this book. Found this really cheap copy, so we're reading it. two short books to the TBR. Then I have heartbreaking books. Well, I don't know if they are heartbreaking. I got in 5 years. This book sounded so interesting. I got in 5 years because this book in 5 years sounded so interesting. When I heard what it was, I knew I wanted to read it. It's about this woman. She's really organized. She has her whole life planned, and one day she gets to spend 1 hour in the future, 5 years in the future. I might read it. And then there's two more books I want to add to this TBR. The first one is Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake, and then A River Enchanted because the cover looks cool, and this Illuminated edition is gorgeous. That's the only reason I'm adding these to my TBR. If we add all the books together, these ones, maybe in 5 years, maybe. I don't know. Do we like it? I like this TBR. Coffee break. I just remember Clockwork Prince needs to be on my TBR. Because I haven't been for another basis video to film. I'm sorry. Adding you to my TBR. Here is my April spread, and if you've seen other videos of my reading journal, you can see it's really different from what I normally do. The other ones are more like busy and full, but I wanted to do something simple as I'm not using my reading journal as much as I want, so I want to change the method, see if this way I use it, so it's more simple. These are just little goals that I want to get to do this month, which reading diverse genres, it's why my TBR looks a bit crazier than most other months. And then here I want to track how many pages I read every day, so I'll just do that. And yeah, that's my April bullet journal, reading journal, sorry. I always say bullet, but it's reading journal. Hello everyone, it is the next day. I was really busy yesterday and I couldn't show you how I plan my reading on Notion, but I'm gonna show you right now. I'm gonna put the Notion thingy in here. I can explain you how I schedule my reading for the month. The first thing I do is I always divide my books, and if you've been here for a while, you have seen me do these. I normally pick a book, and depending how long it is, I set a set day of days that I want to spend reading it. For example, this one's small, so I set 3 days, and I divide it in 3 little chunks. That means I cannot go to bed without getting to one of these post-its, so I'll be able to read this book in 3 days. It's a really good motivator if you are the type of people that just read 10 pages and kind of get bored. I'm always like, no, I can't leave it. I have to reach the post-it, and it really does help me a lot. Though, again, don't put a lot of pressure on yourself, because most of the time I don't get to the post-its and I read more the next day. So it's just like a guide. You don't have to follow it. You don't have to feel like it's just about reaching that post-it. It's just like a little, you know, like a treat. You get there and it's like, oh, I got it. Took the post-it out. A lot of the times when I reach that one post-it, I want to continue reading. I'm like, let's do a little bit of work for tomorrow. The first thing I do on my Notion, it's my April TBR. I just have all the books that I want to read. I write them in there. And then I have my library page, which is basically all the books, how I read. I have a whole video on how I do it, so I will link it down below in case you want to see my method. But basically I just wrote down all the books I want to read, like The Alchemist, and I put the tag next to read in there. And then I have a calendar like you are seeing. I create a little entry for the book and the days that I want to read. This one's divided by 4 days, so I put 4 days, and then I can just move them around. So if I want to start before the coffee gets cold on Saturday, I just put it there, and I should have finished it by Wednesday. And that's more or less how I plan what to read. It's a lot of work. I think that's basically all for the planning that I do for each month. I have my goals that I've shown you on my reading journal, my TBR, and that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me down below. I will be more than grateful to answer your questions. And also let me know if you plan your TBRs. I love you guys. Subscribe to become part of the fam, and I'll see you next week with a reading vlog that I'm really excited about. Bye!